Hello once again and welcome back to the channel Held Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up in this episode, Newcastle Knights subject to bid for Bevan French. Manly youngster in court giving evidence on his trial. And results and scorers from the Penrith Panthers vs Melbourne Storms game. We begin today's episode with NRL player Manase Fainu, as he has told a court proceedings that has been going on for 2 years. He was standing about 10 to 15 metres away from a brawl that erupted in the church car park and decided to run away when he heard someone say, "Knife, knife." The 24-year-old Manly Seagulls hooker has pleaded not guilty to wounding youth leader Fainu Levi with the intent to cause grievous bodily harm outside the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Wattle Grove in Sydney's southwest suburb on October the 25th, 2019. Giving evidence at the trial in Parramatta's District Court, Fainu said he had been at a barbecue that was thrown that afternoon at a mate's house. He said friend Uona Fainga, who was known as Big Buck, asked if he could drive to the church as he wanted to collect some money from a man for concreting work, which Fainu was happy to do that, he said on Monday's trial. Fainu said he stayed outside the church building with one friend while Fainga and 2 others went inside the hall where a charity dance was going on. He said he didn't want to go in and that he was wearing black tracksuit pants, a short sleeve shirt and a sling on his left arm after shoulder surgery in September and felt his dress was a bit inappropriate. He was quoted saying, "We saw them getting escorted out and we just joined them. I said sorry to the security guards for their behaviour and then we walked out." Fainu continued on his testimony that once back in the car, Fainga twice said, "I didn't get effing paged," and he told him, Fainu to his friend, "Don't worry, we'll get it another time." He said Fainga was angry and got him to park at the nearby Coles shop. Asked by a barrister, his barrister Margaret Cuneen, SC, whether there was a plan at that stage, Fainu replied, No plan at all." Fainu, who is currently stood down over the NRL's no-fault stand-down policy, said, "I was expecting to go myself into the dance hall and collect the money," he said. "I just saw something like a brawl going on when I was on my way to the chapel." He continued that he was 10 to 15 metres away from the brawl of 6 to 8 men. He backpedaled and started walking backwards, said Fainu. He said he was receiving training as a rugby league player to walk away from fights and don't get yourself involved. He said he did not know the group and nobody touched him that night. "I just saw it for a minute or two and then I ran away," Fainu said. "I was scared for myself. I heard knife, knife." Fainu said his group of friends had discussed how the fight started and Fainga said he had dropped someone and wanted to go back and get the money, but would not tell him the reason. Fainu said nothing was said about a knife and he did not know anyone was stabbed. He denied having a weapon or seen any of his friends with a knife and said the suggestion that he had a knife in his sling or pants was incorrect. Asked by the Crown Prosecutor Emma Curran whether he was one that plunged a knife into the back of Levi, pictured here, Fainu said, "No, ma'am." He dismissed the suggestion that he had brought a knife because he had one arm out of action and denied wanting to take Levi out of the fight. Fainu was asked by the prosecutor, "You swung around in front of him and swung a knife up towards his face." And Fainu replied, "That's incorrect, ma'am." Levi previously gave evidence that he and a friend had walked two men to the front gate after a fight broke out on the dance floor. He was stabbed in the shoulder blade while at his car, suffering a collapsed lung, internal bleeding, and a laceration above his eyebrow. Fainu disagrees with Curran's suggestion that he had been the leader of the group, seen on CCTV jumping a fence on the church grounds, and denied being up close involved in the brawl. The whole incident between Fainu, Levi, alleged incident, occurred on 29th of October 2019, while Fainu was charged by police for stabbing a man with a 10cm knife at a church dance. It was alleged that Fainu produced the knife and stabbed the man after a confrontation. Fainu presented himself to the New South Wales Police at Liverpool Police Station following the incident and was charged with intent to cause grievous bodily harm and affray, and reckless causing grievous bodily harm in company. Fainu's case had been adjourned until 3rd of February 2020 after he failed to attend the court due to ongoing shoulder injury. Justice Stephen Rothman granted the order under the condition that Fainu surrendered his passport, reported to the police daily, and provided a $10,000 surety and $10,000 surety, and would remain at home. His next court case was due on the 26th of July 2021, but that has been put off once again, and we are just hearing about the court case as we go on. Next, we have reports that Wigan Warriors star Bevan French is heavily linked to an end-of-season switch to NRL side Newcastle Knights as an announcement on his future approaches. The Australian winger, who joined Wigan from Parramatta 3 years ago, rewrote Super League history books recently by scoring 7 tries during a 60 points to nil demolition of Hull FC on July the 15th this year. The feat saw him eclipse Leslie Vinacolo's 6 tries for Bradford Bulls against the same opposition in September 2005, and confirmed him as arguably the greatest talent in the competition. But with his contract at the DW Stadium due to expire at the end of the season, French is bidding to return his homeland later this year. The 26-year-old has remained tight-lipped about his next move, but the Australian media reports that they have struck a deal with Newcastle, which is close to being completed. The Daily Telegraph in Australia says the Knights are closing in on the winger, whilst the likes of ABC's Grandstand have echoed these claims with rumours of a 3-year deal surfacing. Newcastle Herald columnist Barry Tuhey believes that French, who helped Wigan to a Challenge Cup victory earlier this year, is more likely to sign a 1-year deal at the Knights and to add depth at wing and fullback. Newcastle have also been heavily linked with French's Wigan teammate Kai Pearce-Paul and Huddersfield Giants sensation Will Price over this year, as they look to their Super League contingent after signing the likes of Dom Young a couple of seasons back. French, after playing 3 games in 2021, extended his contract, his option to do so at the beginning of the season so that he could play in 2022. And it has been an okay 2022, to be honest, as he scored 24 tries this season so far. He's only made 16 appearances in this season. In total, though, he scored 42 tries in 49 games for the Warriors, and Newcastle will be looking to harness that sort of try scoring ability if they are able to persuade him to join them down under. There is still time to go before the end of the season, and the pre-contract details and the signatures part for Super League to get the priority has ended on August the 1st. Even the transfer window down in Australia has ended, so we can't go early, but new negotiations can be taken between now and the beginning of the season. Wigan will be looking to keep their one of their star men, as he and Jai Fields, as well as Liam Marshall in support, have been ripping it up in Super League for 2022 and will be looking to challenge when it comes grand final time at the end of the season. Not done with the Super League Shield yet, but it's more than likely going to St. Helens. So a clean sweep could realistically still be on the table for French in this season, but it's likely that could only win 2. And we finish off today's episode with the scores and results from the NRL game between the Penrith Panthers and the Melbourne Storm, as last year's Premiership finalists go against each other in Penrith's backyard. But this time it is Penrith who are top of the tree with 38 points, and they find the Melbourne Storm in 4th place, 10 points behind the Premiers in the table. A win though will put pressure on the Cronulla Sharks by the Storm, as they will go above them, albeit temporarily, if Cronulla beat West Tigers in West Back Garden. The Panthers and the Storm are consistently among the competition's top teams at this time of the year over the past few seasons, and once again both of them sit inside the top 4, with the Panthers on the cusp of securing their second minor premiership in 3 years. Penrith and Leigh fans fears that they would go into freefall without halfback Nathan Cleary in the side's comfortable 26 points to 6 victory over Canberra last week, with a performance showcasing the depth Ivan Cleary has at his disposal. The Storm, however, continue their return to form with a 32 points to 14 win against the last place Titans, led by the brilliance of Cameron Munster, and have kept themselves in the driving seat when it comes to the battle for a place in the top 4. Back in May, when they last met, it was the Panthers who came away with the 32 points to 6 victory at Suncorp Stadium as part of the Magic Round. And with that, here are the squads. Matt Eisenhuth will start at prop in place of the suspended James Fisher-Harris, while Viliami Kikau has been named on the extended bench as he looks to return from a hip injury, which sidelined him from the last game. For the Storms, Cooper Johns is looking set for an extended run in the halves, with Jerome Hughes suffering a partial dislocation of the shoulder last week. Cameron Munster moves back to 5'8", with Nick Meaney returning from a concussion he sustained in round 19. Powerful centre Justin Olam is back from his COVID layoff, so young Tona Maipayas goes to the reserves. Tom Eisenhuth will start in place of Felice Kafusi, who will miss the game to be with his family after the passing of his father earlier this week. Chris Lewis has also been added to the bench. Before the game, there was the minute silence held for Paul Green, the former NRL coach, player, and Queensland Origin coach, passed away on August the 11th. Early hours of the UK, late day in the day of the Australian time, age 49. He played for clubs like Cronulla Sharks, North Queensland Cowboys, Sydney Roosters, Parramatta Eels, Brisbane Broncos, and winning the Rothman Medal in 1995. He also played for Queensland and Australia as a representative halfback, and coached the Cowboys to their first premiership win in 2015. Green passed away at home, where he was found unresponsive and the police are treating it as a non-suspicious death. Any other conjecture at this time would be folly to mention, as it is just fresh and the family need to be consoled and remember their father, son, brother, sister, husband. Green leaves behind wife Amanda and children Emerson and Jed, who we send our deepest condolences to. In a statement from the family, it just read, "We have lost a devoted husband, loving father and a wonderful brother and son. We cannot find the words that would come close to expressing our feelings. However, we would like to extend our thanks to those who have reached out to us with love and support. Our family is trying to understand this tragedy, and we request space and time to come to terms with this loss." We pay tribute to Paul and all his accomplishments during his career and his life, and we just say, rest in power, Paul, Mr. Green. The game went to the Storm, 16 points to 0 over the Panthers, after Nick Meaney scored on the 17th minute, Brandon Smith scored on the 19th, and David Nufaluma scored a fantastic finish on the 30th minute, with Nick Meaney converting 2 of the tries, his own and also Smith's. But it was all one-way traffic in the second half. The score at half-time was 16-0, and by the end of the game, there were 52 play the balls and tackles made in the Storm's 20-metre line, which is a fantastic stat to come out with. The Panthers did not look clinical when it came to those final balls. No, the missing of Nathan Cleary and also Jerome Luai has put the cat amongst the pigeons over the Storm, who are now looking over the shoulder as North Queensland Cowboys take to the field in their next game to go 2 points better off than the Panthers this weekend. And that's another episode in the bag, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way. Tell me what your thoughts are of the episode in the comment section below. There's a lot to go through today, so I'm hoping that you guys will respond and start a conversation, as long as it's civil for everyone to get involved. That's what we need to do. We need a Discord and also a conversation about rugby league. Tell me where you feel rugby league is at this moment in time, and where it can go, or what it shouldn't do. That's a good thing to ask. What shouldn't rugby league do to help with the growth of the game? All opinions are welcome, just as long as you're open to any rebuttals or what's the best way to put it? Any rebuttals or replies that are not of your liking. Be open-minded for everyone's opinion, because everyone's opinion is valid in this episode, in this comment section. Because we want a Discord. We are looking to grow the game. You, me, and everyone else watching. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the episode. Please remember to share this video worldwide. But in the meantime, please stay safe. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.